As everybody knows, my motto in life is grateful to life. I have come to this after looking back on all those decades I have been living. And of course, in the first instance, I am most grateful to my parents who gave me an excellent education. My father was a Confucian, my mother was a Roman Catholic, and the two taught us good principles in life. Then I'm grateful also, of course, to all my siblings, my family, and I should say I have been very lucky to have been born in Mauritius, and this is why also I am grateful to life to have been born in Mauritius, which is a wonderful country. To begin with, I should say that I had a very, very happy childhood. At the time, my father, who had come from China, he was a very capable businessman, and he was quite lucky to have been successful. And I was privileged to be able to go to school chauffeur driven. And in his business, he employed some 35 people. But the point is, I was living in a Chinese cocoon, in a Hakka cocoon. I was living in a place which everybody knows now is called Chinatown, because when you are born in Chinatown, so you're steeped in the Chinese culture and tradition. Now, all this went on very well for quite some time until the day when it just happened. Like in life, you have ups and downs. The downs came. My dad lost everything, and we lost everything. And instead of living in great comfort, we had to move from our lovely home and go to the suburbs where, with 5 children and my dad, we live in only 2 rooms. And at the time, we had no electricity. In the meantime, I lost my friends. Even at school, I could feel that my teachers also were quite different. I may be wrong, but that was the perception I had at the time. What happened is the place where we went to in the suburbs, this is the place where, for the first time, I live in a place where we had people of different backgrounds and different ethnic origins. And for the first time, in the place where I live in the backyard, there were families, Hindu families, Tamil families, Muslim families, Creole families. So it was for the first time that I came to mix with people of different backgrounds and learn to know about their cultures. And this is where also I discovered Indian music. I saw all those friends, boys and girls. I made friends with them. I went out fishing with the group on Sundays, and we used to play dominoes. And so, as I said, my life completely changed. But I think, looking back, I think this was perhaps one of the best things that could have arrived to me. This was a painful introduction into the multicultural Mauritius. I learned to be open and to appreciate different cultures, different foods, different ways, and it was really fantastic. I went to school, I had excellent teachers. I should be always grateful to the teachers I had. I should name some of them. For example, first of all, I should mention at the primary school, there was one gentleman by the name of Carl Kennel, whom I think of always with great affection. I had two teachers also. There was Pierre-Georges Delescu, who was my English teacher, Raymond Charles, who was the French teacher, and Assa Rapin was the biology teacher. So what I'm trying to say is that at the time, I had excellent teachers, and also I was also very active in athletics, won prizes, boxing, long jump, 100 yards race, etc., etc. Time passed, and the country was going to be independent, so they needed people to be trained to be diplomats. I was the candidate. I got accepted, so I was chosen to go and follow diplomatic course at the Graduate Institute of International Studies in Geneva, which was a wonderful place. There too, I met very brilliant people. brilliant teachers, great specialists in international law, international organizations and everything. So as I say, I've been lucky again to have had such great teachers all the time. Now, immediately after my training, I was sent to Paris to open the Mauritian embassy there. I was a second secretary, and I had a great time in Paris, discovering, of course, the French culture, theater, music, literature, the poets, the writers, and also good good cheese, excellent wine, and also at the time we had duty-free alcohol. I tried all types of whiskeys, because I like to enjoy the good things of life. But in Paris, we had just become independent. There were lots of people who left Mauritius and who needed a job, so they went to Paris. They needed the jobs, and they had to have all the papers, working paper, working permits, residence permits. They needed all those permits to be able to stay. So this was the bulk of the work I had to do, is to try to help them get their necessary permits so that they could take a job and live in France. Immediately after Paris, I was sent to Brussels to open the mission there. And here also, I should say, life gave me the chance to be able to form part of the team that negotiated our acceptance into the European Union, or more precisely through the ACP, Africa, Caribbean, and Pacific group. So I am very happy to have been able to participate in the discussions that led to Lomé Convention and also to the Sugar Protocol, thanks to which for at least 30 years, Mauritius has been benefiting from prices above the world price, and which has helped Mauritius to get the necessary funding for its development. I came back to Mauritius, and then there was a job at the Commonwealth Foundation, and here I was interested in the job, but I should say again, thank you to my friend, my colleague, Vijay Joypal, who encouraged me to send in my candidature. So I did it, and he helped me together to draft the letter. I'm not ashamed to say that, because I always believe that when we are in a group thinking together, we can do things better. I was selected from among all those, I don't know how many people from the Commonwealth who wanted to get the job. So finally, there were only 4 selected for the final choice. I went to London, and I was lucky again to get the job. Then I stayed 7 years, and they wanted me to stay again, but then I said I had no more ideas. I wanted to go back home. But I'm so happy because I have been able to meet people of all conditions. Then after the Commonwealth Foundation, I came back to Mauritius, and as I wanted to do something else, I joined the Labour Party and was chosen to be the Labour Party Secretary General. And for this appointment, I am always grateful also to my friend, the former Prime Minister of Mauritius, David Gulam, who thought that I could do a good job as a Secretary General. After some 15 years in the desert, we work hard, and I'm so happy to have been able to contribute to bringing the Labour Party back to power. For 5 years, I was MP and then Minister of Culture. And here also, I think I should mention a couple of things that I did. Let me take this opportunity to say that the things that I've done, which I'm very proud of. First and foremost, I was the one who created and set up the National Library. And then also, I set up the History Museum. And of course, there are lots of other things I've done. If you think of the art gallery, and you think of all the legislation regarding the librarians, and also there are also about a dozen claques, centres de lecture et d'animation culturelle. There is something else, and this is where my friend Marcel Linzeloué, in one of the papers some time back, he said, he referred to me as le père du cinéma mauricien. Well, this is a lot, but actually what I did was to try to develop the image industry in Mauritius. I invited filmmakers from France, from Britain, from India, from South Africa to come to Mauritius and shoot films and use Mauritius as the backdrop for their films. And at the time, the idea was perhaps premature, but luckily today, the present government has found it very profitable to encourage the cinema industry, and they have now provided all the necessary facilities, which in the past we were unable to provide them. And luckily, some of my friends who were with me in the past have now have set up this Tropicana studio, and I'm pleased, of course, to be the chairman of this Tropicana group. So this is what I've been doing as minister. I thought that after being minister, I was going to retire, but I received from some friends, journalists in France and in Africa, who felt that I should be the person to succeed Boutros Ghali at the head of the Organisation Internationale de la Francophonie. Actually, when I was in Paris, Boutros Ghali asked me if I was interested, because he thought that I would be a worthy successor of his. Later, when I was a candidate, several heads of state, prime ministers, and presidents were willing to back me, to give me the support. But unfortunately, the government in Mauritius simply decided that they did not want to support my candidature. I feel very sorry, not for me, but for them, because they did not have the vision that through a Mauritian citizen, they would be helping Mauritius. That was very unfortunate. But subsequently, when my friend Arvind Boulel became Minister of Foreign Affairs, he thought that with my background, I could be very helpful to the African continent. So he proposed to me to accept being a candidate for the job of at the African Union, to be an eminent person of the African peer review mechanism. When the heads of state meeting in Addis Ababa decided that I was going to be the next member of the African peer review mechanism, I was surprised, I was very pleased, I was delighted. And here I should say that this is something really fantastic. As a member of the Africa Peer Review Mechanism, I had to attend the Heads of States meeting twice a year in January and in June. And this gave me the opportunity to meet all the heads of state, to know better Africa, and to understand what Africa is doing today. Because I'm very glad, because I felt a very, very sad when I was there. Looking back at my own countrymen in Mauritius, I felt that they were very prejudiced. They did not know that we have a new Africa which is going through a renaissance today. But today I can say that I've been able to meet lots of very, very responsible and trustworthy and people who you respect, honor, and admire as leaders of African countries. Well, I should say that having done 4 years with APRM, with the African Union, meeting all those people, I know a bit of Africa today. And I should say that we have to look at the African agenda, because Africans know today what they want. When I look back at my life, there are so many things that I have been able to do. And this is why I am grateful to life, to have been able to learn a lot, and then also to do a lot, so that when I look back, there are lots of achievements, not only, as I said, in Africa, because after Africa, I have been invited to visit so many places in China. All the great capitals, I've been invited to give speeches, talk about what is being done in Africa. And very often in China, they would want me to explain the difference between the West and China. Why is it that the Chinese don't understand the Europeans? Why Europeans don't understand Chinese? And now, having myself been on the three continents, plus Europe, I could say another continent, I am in a position, of course, to talk about all these continents, all these cultures, and this is also why I am so grateful to life to have given me this opportunity. In fact, when I look back, I have had the chance to see about 120 countries. For a Mauritian in a small island, in a small community, I think it's something really wonderful. I should mention also my family, my wife, my children, my friends, my close friends, people I come into contact with, even if today, every day, at present, when I go to the market, all those people who knew me as a minister, they ask me to come back. I smile, but the point is, I am very happy. I am a very happy man because I feel that I have done some contributions to my country and to the world, and people outside acknowledge what I have been doing.
How to say congratulations in Hakka? 用客家话怎么来说祝贺你？
恭喜恭喜恭喜恭喜
恭喜！在您传播中华文化的时候，咱们中华文化接受。
I believe the great thing about Chinese culture, which is accepted everywhere, is a spirit of toleration and respect for others.